Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and welcome for those of you who are new to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. So in today's video, I'm going to be testing out some makeup that I got from Mellow Cosmetics. So I've seen Mellow Cosmetics like on Instagram and on Facebook, and I really wanted to try them out, and I did actually get one of their lip products in my BoxyCharm, so I figured let's try out some more products and just kind of do like a review on all of them. So really excited to test them out. So if you haven't already done so, definitely subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell above the subscribe button so you can be notified of all of my future uploads, and let's get into it. Alright everyone, so I already have my base makeup done. So I have some foundation on, and I did some concealer, some powder, and I also did my brows because I did want to just go ahead and make sure I test out the eyeshadow palette that I got. And I do have a face palette too, which I'm really excited to show you because it looks really beautiful. So I'm just going to prime the lids really quickly. Alright, so lids are primed, and now we're going to jump into the eyeshadow palette that I got. So this is called Treasure Chest. The eyeshadow palette is called Treasure Chest. It's really, really beautiful. The packaging is really nice. It is a kind of like that shimmery gold shade there, which I really like. I think that's really cute. So then when you open it up, there is a small little mirror there, which is really nice. I wish it was a little bit bigger just because, you know, it's kind of hard to do makeup in like a little mirror like that. But the eyeshadow palette itself, I think the shades are really nice. It's like some really nice neutrals there. So like warm tone, you have some cool tone as well. So I think that's going to be really, really pretty on the eyes. So I'm really excited to test this out. Okay, so for the first shade, I think I'm going to be using this shade right here. It's kind of like that nice sandy brown, and it's called Tiger Eye. So I'm going to be using that. It looks like a really nice kind of like transition neutral shade. So I'm going to go ahead and put this kind of as my transition. And like off the bat, it looks pretty pigmented, and the shade is really nice too. I really like it. I think it'll be like a nice transition, and we're going to do like a nice neutral eye today. There is a little bit of fallout in the pan, which, I mean, for me, it's not the biggest deal. Like I've said before in my other videos, it doesn't bother me that much. I don't really care as long as it's not like literally falling all over my face. I'm fine with it. But I know that like some people do kind of care about that. So I found Mellow Cosmetics on the first product that I received for them was actually in my BoxyCharm, one of my BoxyCharms, and it's a lip product. It's a lip gloss, and I really loved the lip gloss because it's a really nice formula. It's not sticky at all, and it also is like a nice tinted lip gloss, so it actually does look like a lip tint or even like a liquid lipstick, but not as matte. So I went on their website and, you know, saw some items. I saw some products that I would want to try, and I figured since I liked the lip gloss, I'm gonna like other things, or at least I wanted to test them out. So that's kind of why I got some of these products. It's looking like this transition is pretty nice. It's kind of neutral. It's almost like a little bit darker than like my skin tone. I feel like it looks darker on the eye than it does in the pan, but that's okay. That's totally fine. Okay, and then the next shade I'm gonna go in with is this shade down here. It's called Onyx. And it's a little bit, so it's definitely a darker brown. I think I'm going to do like a more smoky eye today. This looks like a really nice brown. So I'm going to focus this on my outer corner just because I feel like that first shade is a little bit darker than I had anticipated. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of like blend it out on my outer corner. And with this, I kind of just like to do like circular motions and just extend out to kind of like the shape that I like. Oh, that's pretty. And this shade seems to be blending out easily. It's, you know, pretty nice. Easy to work with. The shades seem to be blending out nicely together. It's a 12 pan eyeshadow palette, and it retails for $38, which is a little pricey in my opinion, just because I feel like you can find other palettes that aren't as pricey, but you can go ahead and use the code MELLOW15 to get 15% off of your order, which I was able to do, which was really nice. But if a makeup product is like good quality, the good formula, like I am definitely not opposed to spending the money on it. Okay, so I'm liking the way that these shades are kind of blending together. I think they look really nice and they complement each other well. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with a shimmer shade. So there are 8 shimmer shades in this palette and there are only 4 matte shades, which I found a little interesting. I mean, I do love a shimmer shade, so like I'm so okay with that, but I know that like some people kind of do more like matte looks. So for this look today, I think I'm gonna go in first with this shade right here. It's that like brown shade, that brown shimmery shade, and it's called Amber. So I'm gonna first go in with my finger because I know a lot of like shimmer shades are better applied with your finger just because you're applying more pressure on it. So, and that's a really pretty shade too. So I'm going to go in and kind of stamp it on the lid. Ooh, and that looks really, really pretty. That is a really, really pretty shimmer shade. I really like that. So I'm going to go with a flat brush like this and just see how it does on the brush. Again, because a lot of shimmer shades are applied more easy with your finger, but I just want to see how this one does. Oh, and it actually applies like really well with the brush, so that's always good. And I didn't spray it or anything, so that is without any spray or anything. So I think it actually almost applies better with the brush. I think I'm also going to add this shade right here. It's called Rose Gold. And I'm going to put that kind of like right there between the matte shade and the shimmer shade. And just kind of like blend it out just to get a little bit more dimension in the eye. So again, I'm going to use the brush because the last shade applied really, really nicely with the brush. So I want to see how this one applies. Ooh, that's pretty. And this is definitely more like a rose gold kind of shade. But I also think it looks really pretty with the eye look that we have today. So again, I'm just kind of focusing it more so in this area. And then I'm going to go in with a more fluffy brush and just kind of like blend everything out so that way everything is nice and blended. So I'm going to go back in with the transition shade, the first shade that I used, and I'm going to kind of bring it up to my crease just so I can blend it in, because a lot of the times when you're using another shade, the crease one kind of gets lost and hidden, and I did want to like show that off. And then I also think it looks nice blended with the darker brown. Okay, so I'm going to take the darker brown and go ahead and put it on my lower lash line. And now I'm just going to take this brush and I'm going to smudge it out, just so we can get that smokiness. So I'm going to take an angled brush like this and I'm going to dip into that darker brown again, and I'm going to use that as a liner. I have been liking this a lot lately. I've been doing it a lot, so I've been using my shadow for the liner because I think that it looks, you know, a little bit less harsh than like a black liner. And it just gives the eye a different kind of appearance. And I think it looks really pretty, especially if you're really smoking out an eye. Okay, so I think the eyes look really pretty so far. I'm loving the shadow. And now I'm going to go in with the ColourPop BFF Gel Liner. And this is in the nude shade. I think it's called Honey Dude. So it's just kind of a nude liner, and I think that it makes eyes pop a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. I love this mascara. It is such a good drugstore mascara. I believe it's only $5 or $6, but it works so well. It does a really good job at volumizing lashes, and it also does a good job at lengthening lashes, and it's only $5, so that is a steal in my eyes. Alright, so now we're going to jump into the face palette that I got from Mellow Cosmetics. So this is the Stardust Glow palette. It includes, it is the light to medium shade range, one. So it includes 2 highlights, a bronzer, and a blush. And I thought that the shades were really, really pretty. The bronzer is a little bit more like neutral toned rather than warm, but it still looks really, really pretty. It looks like it's going to be a nice bronzer shade. And then the blush is kind of like exactly what I like in a blush. I love shades like that. And the highlights look really nice too, so I'm going to just do a little... Ooh, and those look really, really pretty. So one is a little bit more on the blushy pink side, and then the other is more like true yellow, kind of like in your face blinding highlight. So let's see. Ooh. Oh yes, this is very, very pigmented, and I went in a little bit too heavy-handed with that. Okay, so and this face palette is $38, which is actually not that bad considering that you get a bronzer, a blush, and 2 highlights. But, you know, I have seen other palettes like this that are at a cheaper price. e.l.f. has like a really, really nice one. It looks just like this, and it's about... I think it's about $10 in that price range, and like e.l.f. has like amazing products, but I did want to give this a go. And I mean, this bronzer is very pigmented, so definitely if you are using it, go in with a light hand, because then when you put the brush in the product, there's a lot of fallout in it. So I think that's kind of why I went in with a little too much, because I didn't realize, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and blend it out. And I do love the fact that the palette comes with a mirror. I love big mirrors in a palette, just because you never know where you're going to be. Like if you're traveling or something and you need a mirror with your palette, it's really nice. And I always like to be more up close when I'm doing my makeup, just so I can see kind of like up close and personal and everything that's going on. I mean, it's easy to blend, like it's not hard to blend. It's almost looking, I feel like I used too much, and that's why it's looking maybe a little muddy, but I don't know, that could be the product itself. But try my forehead. All right, so now I'm going to jump into the blush. So this is in the shade Delta. So I'm going to... Let's see if this one is really pigmented too. Oh yeah, look at all of that pigment on the brush. Okay, let's wipe a little bit off. Oh my gosh, it's like coming out so pigmented. Holy. Okay. So this is also extremely pigmented. You definitely don't need a lot using this. Like literally you like dab your brush in and you're good to go. So truthfully, this palette will probably last you a lifetime, because you definitely don't need to go in with a lot when you use it. Like when I am telling you I'm going in with the smallest like little dab, and I'm getting a lot of product on my brush. And the shade is really pretty. I really like the blush shade. I think the bronzer is a little bit too neutral for me, and that's kind of why it's coming out a little bit muddy, I feel like. So let's go ahead in and use the highlights. So I'm gonna mix them actually. Let's do a little bit of both, just to mix it up a little bit, because I do want to use both, and I feel like both of them together would be pretty. Oh, wow. It is extremely, extremely pigmented, so maybe I went in with a little too much. Okay, so this highlight is like literally blinding, like so pigmented, which is nice. I have to remember that next time I use it, because I went in with way too much. Okay, so now for lips today, I got the Mellow Cosmetics liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Barcelona. I really loved the shade. I thought it's going to be like really, really pretty for summer. Yeah, this is a really pretty shade. It's very like corally pinkish, and I think it's really pretty for summer. So yeah, it's definitely drying more matte, but it doesn't feel drying on the lips. It feels so far it feels nice and like creamy. It doesn't feel very drying at all, but you can always like top it off with a gloss just to make your lips a little bit more glossy if you like that look rather than a matte. But yeah, I love the color. I think it's perfect for summer. All right, everyone, so that is it. That is those are the products that I tested from Mellow Cosmetics. I do have some thoughts on them. So the eyeshadow palette, the Treasure Chest palette, is pretty. I think that for $38 you could definitely find a dupe for this in another eyeshadow palette. I know that there are 12 eyeshadow shades, which is nice, but I think that for the price it's not as worth it as other brands. I hate to say, but I mean, it did perform really nicely. Like, I think the eyes look nice. There was a lot of fallout in the pan. Like, as soon as I like dipped it in, there was just like a bunch of fallout. I actually didn't see a lot on the face, so that's good, but there was definitely a lot of fallout in the pan. And again, for $38, I mean, I think that you could definitely find another eyeshadow palette cheaper somewhere else. So yeah, I mean, I think it's nice. I'm glad that I got it. I'm glad that I tested it out, but I think that you could definitely find something cheaper somewhere else. And then the Stardust Glow palette, it is really pretty. Like, when you open it, the shades look really, really pretty. It looks like it's gonna give like a really nice finish, but I don't know. As soon as I put the brush in, like, product legit just fell right out of the pan. And this was also $38. So I feel like for a palette that is $38, there shouldn't be that much fallout. And then it also, I mean, it was very pigmented, so you definitely didn't need a lot when applying, which is nice. But it also kind of, I feel like the bronzer made my face like a little muddy looking, which I'm not a fan of that at all. So I would go ahead and maybe skip on the palette. The highlights are really pretty. Like, they're really, really pigmented. But again, like, I just did a little bit and it was literally like so much like blinding in your face, which people want, but I think it was a little too much. So yeah, I don't know. I would skip this for $38. You can definitely find something cheaper somewhere else. So then the liquid matte lip paint, I do really like this. It's really nice. It doesn't feel very drying on the lips. You could definitely go in on top of it with a gloss. I think the color is really pretty too. I think it's like perfect for summer. I do have another Mellow lip paint that I got in my BoxyCharm, which I also really like. I really like that shade too. So definitely yes on the lip paints. And I think these are $18 if I'm not mistaken. But again, you can use the code MELLOW15. You can get 15% off. So yeah, I mean, I think that it was a good thing to test everything out. There are some things that I liked and disliked about it. So let me know what you think. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and like, comment, and definitely subscribe. And I'll see you all very soon in my next video. Thanks so much. Bye.